What's up, Squadron? Aviation has given me a ton of amazing experiences. And more importantly, it's introduced me to a whole new family of friends. Join us tonight because we're cleared direct for some hangar flying. I'm Bryon Dembroski, and this is SuperAero Live. What's up, Av Geeks? It's Wednesday, which can only mean one thing. I'm blowing the audio out on my mic because I am so pumped to see all of you over the internet tubes from my desk over that pipe over there. Whatever. Really excited to talk about airplanes with everyone tonight. I see a lot of friendly faces in the chat today. I see Red Baron Modeling's here, Zach Sherman's here, Mike Beatty's here complaining about the time difference now. Tom's here, Parody Show's here, Waukesha Pilot's here. Oh man, the whole gang is here. You guys are talking a lot. Ben Berg is here, Sarah Clucky is here, Tango and Juliet, former guests or former alums of the show are here. There's so many folks in the chat. Nathan Ballard. I got to be careful because if I just read all the names, we won't actually get to our guests tonight, and I want to get to them. Sorry, let's do this real quick. Nathan says I'm giving away an F-16 ride with the Thunderbirds. No, I'm not. That is fake news. Not happening. But anyway, let's get to our guests. We got to find the buttons. There they are. Look at that. It's Jackie and Tobias from CubTrekking. Oh my goodness. And I've already got a video playing because we're going to talk about that in a minute. I got a lot of videos playing. This is a professional show. Everything's going professional. Anyway, hey guys. Thanks for being here.
How are you doing?
Hi.
And I got to say, I love the Bose headsets. You guys are like in it. And now I need to figure out how to do that now. So
Yeah,
we'll have
totally worth it.
You're going to be very comfortable. There's not going to be any noises bothering you tonight. It's just going to be the three of us just hanging out, talking about Carbon Cubs and other things. Right. Anyway, so let's dig in. And by the way, everyone, if you have questions for our friends, throw them in the chat's over here on my screen. I don't know how you would know that. Throw them in the chat. We'll ask as we talk, but I just want to get started right away with like you guys have the most aviation related meet cute, right? In movies we talk about meet cutes. Like your meet cute is a Carbon Cub, sort of, right? Is that real? It's like you guys built your relationship started with the plane. Is that real? Is that a thing?
It's all about the Carbon Cub. Yeah, that's for sure. So yeah, that's a funny story actually. So I started building the Carbon Cub. I met Jackie quite in the beginning of my build. I paid attention to the most important stuff, basically to build that Cub. So Jackie was not so happy with that, I figured out. So I don't know. So at some point she said no way, and broke up with me. That's my story.
Wait, what?
And yeah, can you imagine? So anyway, but at some point, she contacted me again, and I was still a perfect spot, I needed basically 4 hands to do a glue job on the Carbon Cub. I said, that's great, Of course, I drink a coffee with her, and then I asked her, by the way, I need basically some help to glue the Carbon Cub together. The gluing session was so bonding, So we're married now, so that's how it goes.
I just want to
build an airplane, and you end up with a wife or so,
That was Oh no,
other
go ahead.
Basically start building an airplane and then they break up with their wife and have a divorce and so on. In my case, it's just the opposite. I basically started building a Carbon Cub. I ended up with a wife, so life can go this way. So still happy, married. So yeah, so that was awesome. Yeah, and the whole Carbon Cub thing. Of course, I checked it out first before I started building. Almost. To be honest, I flew up in Alaska some Piper Super Cubs and wanted to build an airplane, so the Carbon Cub is the perfect spot and fit.
You're on a roll.
Yeah, why not? And here we go, Jackie helped me finalizing the build there, putting the cowling on, for the very last time before, the first flight.
I kind of skipped ahead,
So-
right? I kind of skipped ahead.
That's
Like,
good.
technically, I should. Well, first of all, I got to give props. Zach Sherman in the chat always makes the best puns, but you totally outpunned him tonight. You're talking about glue and being stuck together. That was great. That was good. That was a good joke. I'm gonna write that one down.
Yeah.
So this, you said this is the. I want to get more into the adventures of what you guys do, but we would be remiss not to talk about what it's like to build a Carbon Cub.
So
We
let
talk.
me add in here.
Yeah,
He
get it. Jump
moved
in.
He moved into a new house to build his Cub in a 2-car garage. The Cub crate arrived before his bed. If that just provides any type of priorities during the build.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
he
I
was
can't
very
blame you
excited
that.
about that.
Yeah, thanks.
So this is this
Yeah.
is like, and you built this whole thing in a 2-car garage.
Right. Yeah. The box in the background there, and that's a fuselage build. Was perfect fit. I bought the whole kit at once, so I just could roll basically. But I mean, it's still time consuming, and I'm kind of picky and wanted to have it perfect. So, and of
Swiss
course I had a job.
precision.
So Swiss precision or so they call it. And it took me 3 years basically. I started in July and ended up at Oshkosh in July 2019. So started 2016, makes 3 years. I counted 2,500 hours, and here's the paint shop. Basically, it's repaint, colors and stuff. So that was kind of time consuming as well. So
Yeah.
and of course, I mean, the first flight, that's the best thing. And here's Jackie helping me probably. Huh? Oh yeah, for the engine mount, and I figured
so I
out
would
it's
read
actually
the instructions.
right.
and He would, I don't know, I'd read the instructions out loud. And
Yeah.
He would guide us in the building.
I don't.
It
I'm
was very
trying to
interesting.
I was just gonna say, I'm trying to decide if I could do a build with my wife. I think it would be what you described before, Tobias. I think we would get a divorce because I'd be like, no, the aileron is upside down, and she'd be like, don't mansplain that to me, and I'd be like, no, but it's up, and then we'd fight a lot.
Yeah.
We'd fight a lot. Anyway,
So
sorry,
we're
I
both
technical
Technical people, so we're both engineers, and I really enjoyed it because, like, learning how to do it. I didn't know I was going to learn as much as I did, and actually, Instagram is kind of something that helped me get into it. I started the CubTrekking Instagram during the part where I started to get really involved in the build, and people started asking questions, and I would have to ask Tobias to answer the questions at first, and then I was, getting more and more involved, and I was starting to be able to answer the questions on my own to people asking us about what we were doing on the build. So it's kind of weird how that worked out, but yeah, Instagram helped me get into aviation for sure.
That's awesome. And just to be clear, like my wife would know more about, like, I was using the aileron thing as like a general, because I don't know anything about building airplanes, but like she's got a doctorate and I do not. So she's the big brain of this operation over here. So I just didn't. But anyway, so that's super cool. I mean, so you guys basically, can we dig in? Like, you broke up and then you got back together. Like, did you?
Okay,
Is there
so
anything worth talking about
I will
there?
talk about this one because I did the breaking up.
Okay, all right.
So he had enough time for me for one night a week. All 6 other nights he would spend with the airplane. At least that's what he told me, or didn't tell me, but that's what
No
I
details.
came down to. And so I said that wasn't enough, and I broke up with him for 6 months. And after 6 months, I couldn't stop thinking about him, and I asked him for coffee. And that's when he kind of started taking our relationship a little bit more seriously and invited me to help him build a plane, which is something that I really was good at, and I enjoyed it. And I met his high Swiss standards of being meticulous. So that's
There you
kind of the
go.
story.
There you go. High Swiss standards of being meticulous. if you can tell behind me, I wouldn't be a good fit for you, Tobias, because I am not. It's not very meticulous back here. Anyway,
Okay.
so
Yeah. Airport is so dark, huh? Okay.
yeah. Good thing it's so dark. Before I want to talk more about the build, but big thanks to Jonathan Christman in the chat for the super sticker. Jonathan, you're a legend as always. Appreciate the support. Looks like Wolficorn is here. If you guys know that guy, he's got a good logo anyway. He just flies a Grumman. So talk to me more. Let's get through the build here. Like, you got it up on its wheels. Throw it in a plane.
Right.
Did it fit in there?
That's a 26-footer Penske truck. So I have had some workmates coming to my house and helping loading that plane, the fuselage. Yeah, you see these two boards basically. Some comments were basically, I wouldn't trust these boards, you know, to have $100,000 airplane rolling up that little ramp, but it worked out pretty fine. So yeah, we moved to the airport in that little Penske truck.
So part of the reason why it was so exciting that we were moving the plane to the airport is because Tobias had asked me to move in, and I wanted my car in the garage. And so we spent, actually I had been traveling in New Zealand, so I came home from New Zealand for Valentine's Day in 2019, 18. Anyways, must be 19.
2019.
And we put the landing gear on, we installed the engine, we moved it to the hangar in 5 days. It was a huge amount of work and a big accomplishment. So then my car could be in the garage and the plane was at the hangar. So
yeah, the detail is basically Jackie came home for Valentine's Day, you know, and it was basically the whole time she was here, basically having a break from New Zealand and spending time in the garage to get it ready to move to the airport. When it arrived at the airport, we had basically a few hours for dinner together, and then she left the next day for New Zealand. So it was kind of interesting, and of course I'm super happy I had her.
You kind of got like the best of both worlds going on here. You got like this beautiful plane, beautiful wife who supports your obsession.
Totally. I love it. Yeah, that's actually hard to find, you know, so I'm super lucky, that's for sure. Yeah, there's no divorce in sight, so that's good. Yeah, that's a panel
almost
basically.
married a year now.
Yeah, we have to be realistic. So anyway, that's yeah, just before basically putting everything together on the cockpit, and yeah, here was the trim necessary for the engine cowling. Yeah, it was at the airport, of course, and well, yeah, all went very well, especially during the last half year of the build, you know, the prop. And of course, it's the most fun, you know, if you put the big pieces together, and every day.
It was super fun to put the big pieces together.
You get a lot of like progress, right? Like it looks like things are getting done more.
Right. Yeah.
Like one day it was the flaps, the next day it was the ailerons, the next day it was the tail feathers, you know, the jury struts, and all of these things I had no idea about, and now I know what goes into at least the second half of building an airplane, not the first half.
Right, that's the first flight in the test pilot suit, you know, the orange stuff that if the firefighters find you better, you know, but however, the plane is orange as well, so who cares?
I was going to say, I thought you were just trying to match the aircraft there.
No, actually, I grew up in Switzerland and I always used the orange pilot suits basically for test flying, and I thought, well, yeah, why not? I picked the orange suit and for the first few flights, and that's it. And yeah, I was happy. Everything worked very well. I had no adjustments to do, so of course I was meticulous with adjusting all the angles and the travel of the control surfaces and stuff, so I had a washout and so on, so that heater, everything was basically according to the books, and yeah, I was so happy. So I had a kind of gnarly examiner or so to get the paperwork done. So in the end, made it that way that I had 7 days or 6 days to leave for Oshkosh in 2019. So I flew the 40 hours in a little square, basically within 6 days. 40 hours in 6 days in the Carbon Cub to get the 40 hours off. That I was able to leave basically the practice area or whatever for the first 40 hours and then leave for Oshkosh. Yeah, and of course during these 40 hours you have an oil change to do or so, or actually 2, and then head off to Oshkosh.
So I'm learning something about the two of you, and that's that you don't do anything like less than 100% hardcore. Like, like you guys just like going for it all the time. Like, boom, all right, we got it. Boom, now Oshkosh, 40 hours in a week or whatever. Like, boom, we gotta do this, And then the next picture, just to prove how hardcore that is like, oh wait, well there's you guys looking adorable. The picture after that is that.
Right. Actually, the picture before was
just airplane.
Right. The picture before was just the night before, and this was the night before leaving for Oshkosh. The next day, we tried to leave at 7 o'clock in the morning to made it to Oshkosh. So we were already kind of late, kind of thing. You know, we basically left on a Saturday or Sunday morning. Was it whatever? You know, and we arrived at Oshkosh, I think Tuesday or Wednesday morning, basically, to be honest. Yeah, something like that. Left on Sunday morning or so, and and arrived Wednesday morning very early at Oshkosh. And so at Oshkosh we had already, of course, it took us probably 22 hours to flying to Oshkosh, you know, so we had 62 hours on the tack when we arrived at Oshkosh, and that was all made within 8-9 days. Yeah.
So you might have had less hours on the Carbon Cub than like a factory Carbon demo Cub that they flew. Like you might have been like the newest Carbon Cub there that year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, probably.
That.
Yeah.
Like
I got basically the permit to. Yeah, right. The paperwork was done somewhere around the 10th of July or so. Yeah, probably. It was the newest Carbon Cub on the field. I never thought about that, but you're right.
Yeah, and then like also probably like certainly the lowest time. Like you like probably the freshest sign off and probably the lowest time. I don't know. That's kind of cool. That's a cool flex. Next, if you're coming this year or whatever the next time you go to Oshkosh is, you got to be like, by the way, you guys know, like we were that year. That was us. You make a little plaque. You like make a little sticker or something for the side of the besides for the cockpit. A couple questions came in before we keep digging in. Waukesha Pilot is wondering, I don't know if he's trolling me or if he actually wants to know. He says, does the Carbon Cub have a heater? The answer is yes.
That's a good question.
Is it a good question?
Yes.
It's a good question.
Oh, so he isn't trolling it. So it's like, it is a kind of interesting question.
Yeah.
It's a known thing. Maybe I should talk about it. Let me talk about it. So the heater it comes out for the EX2, right? The EX2 version of the Carbon Cub. It comes out at the pilot's feet. Well, there's no heater for the passenger. So when it's like 45 or 30 degrees outside, I'm a popsicle. It's quite cold. So I have gotten a heated vest. I've recently gotten heated socks. And I have like this super down jacket that I have around me. So it does have a heater, and since our plane is experimental, my husband bought me a 3D printer for my birthday, and I have a plan. I don't know how this is all going to work out yet, but I would love to print some ducting to take some of the heat from him, because he'll be in a t-shirt and I'm a popsicle in the back, and get some heat ducted back to me as the passenger. So that's kind of one of the things that we have on our to-do list.
That's awesome. And that is also, I mean, this show has somewhat inadvertently become a show that focuses a lot on experimental aviation. I'm kind of like obsessed with everything, but we talk about experimental a lot, and the fact that you can do that right? That you can design and engineer a vent for your aircraft on your own is like kind of the miracle of experimental aviation. I don't know,
Totally.
it's cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, Jackie made all kinds of stuff, you know. Basically, when we were flying the Cub, she figured out, man, I have no spot where I can put my phone or whatever, you know. And yeah, for me, the same thing, you know. You basically hop in there, you have basically a bottle holder or so for your water, but there is not really a good spot for, yeah, where you can put, if you use charts or the iPad, whatever, you know, where you put your stuff, your keys or wallet. So Jackie began basically to design pockets, and it turned out pretty good. You know, other people
Here's
saw
a
that, and
pocket.
other people wanted to have these pockets where you can put your
Wait, you
phone
guys
in
are
here.
selling pockets?
Oh
Well,
yeah. So Jackie
Yeah.
is basically fabricating them here in the U.S. It's all handmade. She sells all these pockets and sells them to customers, and people are. Yeah, she didn't advertise that very well or whatever, so just on Facebook
like
to some
one
groups, you
Facebook
know.
post.
Yeah, and people were, oh, I need one, you know, I send you the money right away, you know, and
Dude, that's the
kind of
coolest.
interesting.
That's the best kind of business. Because the funny thing is, I was gonna joke like once you get this vent manufactured, like people are gonna go nuts for it. If Waukesha Pilot, who I don't
Totally.
think flies a Carbon Cub, knows about this issue, like you got like. You're gonna have a whole new business. You're gonna have a garage full of 3D printers printing all night.
You know,
Cub
the
Trucking
solution
Aviation.
for the heater is basically buying an EX3, you know, which is the model after the EX2. So that would have a very great heater system for the passenger seat.
It's only 260,000 for the kit, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not gonna work for me.
Yeah, right. So therefore we decided let's invest in a 3D printer. It might be cheaper, you know, and get some filament and try
I mean, I don't know.
design it. And
It sounds like 3D printing is an addiction, though. Like you're gonna start print. You're gonna be like, oh, look, cool. Like I printed a spoon. Oh, cool. Like I printed a whatever. Like you're gonna go nuts with
I
it.
pushed my wife.
I printed
yeah.
my own theater for riding for long cross countries in the Carbon Cub for the back seat. So this is an iPad holder. And it
Oh,
velcros.
cool.
This one doesn't have any Velcro on the back, but it velcros onto the back of the seat, and the iPad just sits in there, and I can listen to the iPad, play movies through my Bose headsets. It's fantastic.
That was a good plug for Bose there too. Isn't it?
Well,
I like how
anyways,
I like how you
Bluetooth
slipped that
headset,
in. Oh, you slipped that right in, dear Bose.
Not sponsored by Bose.
Yeah.
If you're listening.
At least not yet.
Yeah. It's actually pretty cool, you know. The wife is so happy after the flight, man, and yeah, after she installed that iPad there and had all this movie experience by flying, I mean, it's first class, of course, you know.
Yeah, and I've not been in the back of a Carbon Cub, but most general aviation aircraft, if you're in the back of them, it's far roomier than an airline. So if you've got the entertainment and the room, boom, you're ready to go.
And the future heater.
And the future heater, right? I love that. I was gonna ask you what you guys did for. So you're both engineers, like by trade, is that?
Yeah, I worked
That's awesome.
actually in the aviation business, so as an engineer, project manager, and yeah, therefore that's my background basically. And I always wanted to build an airplane, so here we are. We have an airplane, and now we can enjoy flying around.
That's awesome.
And maybe another side thing is, I love flying, and I knew the Carbon Cub is a great airplane, and you can go camping or so, you know, go in the backcountry and just enjoy that stuff. But I had basically not much. Oh yeah, that's the Oshkosh. Actually,
Wait, did
that
you
plane
win a
won
thing?
little-
Did you win a thing?
I did. Of course.
You didn't even you didn't even
Yeah.
get to say anything about winning. God, I'm peeking. I'm so excited. I'm like the
Yeah.
audio is just gonna be crackling away. You guys won a Lindy?
Yes.
Should I
That's
go
a
get
big
it?
deal.
Yeah, of course.
I go
Of
get
Yeah.
course,
I mean,
of course, he
I
says.
did-
Of course, we won the Lindy.
That's the funny thing, you know. I knew there is some show plane stuff, and you can sign up for getting it charged. Just barely I read that stuff and I said, well, I have no time, I had to fly these 40 hours off and it just kind of get going, and I will figure out things when I arrive at Oshkosh. Was even not sure if I can still sign up or so, but I just made it in time to get it signed up, the airplane, and yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, here's the front.
Oh, that's sorry.
Oh, wait.
Right.
He's
right
got-
side. That's a Lindsey.
He's got a good butt.
You have the
And
black.
there's
Yeah.
Dude, congratulations.
is.
That is so awesome.
For- Thank you. Yeah. Oh, that was a huge payback, basically, for all the time I spent on that airplane, because I built it kind of meticulously, and apparently it shows it. Therefore we won that Lindy. So yeah.
And what about the judge?
Oh,
What
the
did judge
judge.
say?
Oh man, that's the story. Okay, my wife.
Hit me up.
is
Tell me.
insisting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So the thing is, I arrived at Oshkosh, and these judges come around, and one judge was basically, hey, and you built all by yourself the whole plane there, every hour. I said, yeah. When I needed help, I asked my wife. No, sorry. At that point, my girlfriend, and he's kind of, what? A girlfriend? And she's helping you building that airplane? If you haven't yet, you have to. Oh yeah. You have to marry her, or to propose to her. I mean, that's awesome. It's so hard to find a wife, who is basically into that stuff and helping as a builder, basically, to finish his airplane. Guess what? After Oshkosh, I came home, went to the jewelry store, bought a ring, and proposed, basically, in August after Oshkosh, So that was the story there, I basically said, well, that judge must be right, Why not pushing it? And yeah, here we are. And of course, when I proposed to her, we flew out to a backcountry trip.
I think I have a photo. Do I have photos of that?
Yeah.
Because this.
There's that photo. That's the engagement
that's-
photo.
Yeah, that
Love
was
it.
kind of yeah, super out in the moonies and stuff, and yeah, that was super cool. That was kind of the story, the connection to Oshkosh, and that judge really basically talked to me and said, well, yeah, really, you should marry that girl, Yeah, that was fun.
Tango and Juliet are into
yeah.
it. They say flying couples forever, heart emoji.
Oh,
Smart man.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the Oh, well, I didn't put. Wait, let me move this so you can see.
Perfect.
I'm going to cover it
It's
your
a
head.
good transition here. Because
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
just talking about that. That I love to fly and I love the Carbon Cub. We can go to backcountry trips. However, I have basically not much or basically no camping experience. And Jackie is the hiker and camper, so that was a perfect combination. I provide the plane and the pilot, and Jackie is bringing her gear, and we went out for some trips and camped, and yeah, that was super cool.
He's fun to camp with because he's not a camper. It's pretty funny. But when we were first dating, he would his pickup line to help me get into this flying thing was, it's like hiking but with an airplane, because I love to hike and backpack and stuff like that, and so that's now our little tagline. CubTrekking is like hiking but with an airplane.
Yeah, so that, and I think, we're going to talk a little bit about this kind of epic trip you guys have planned, but like, you already are doing just like a ton of like off airport, rural strip type stuff already, right? Like this is
especially in the beginning of COVID. That was such a nice way to get away from all the news. And our wedding was in April of last year, or was planned for April of last year, and the plane was actually we found a venue where we could land the plane, and we had to cancel the wedding because of COVID. And so that was really unfortunate. And this is actually, one of our sanctuaries, I would call it, for getting away from the media when COVID started, and all, lines at the grocery store and no food at the store. I mean, everybody knows what it was like.
It's
So
funny,
just
like,
kind of-
that we're talking about that. Like, I think it was like a year ago exactly that I took a picture of, the empty store shelves and stuff. So
Oh.
And my wife and I were talking about like the fear that we felt, right? In that beginning moment, those beginning moments, we didn't know what was going to happen and like how it was all working, and the hysteria was kind of hitting. And I feel it. I feel wanting to be in a place like this to get like, especially now, like hindsight's 2020, right?
Totally.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that was so great. We just enjoyed it out there, and especially the medias in the beginning, they're in around April or so, beginning of COVID. It was just crazy what's going on. Every day some new headlines, and you're basically confused, and all these lockdowns worldwide, and oh my goodness. And we just packed our gear and went out to the desert and had a blast out there. We were basically alone, and sometimes some people passing by, on a sudden minute, even go to airports or so. Yeah, look at that. There's a question.
Oh, he says lasagna. He says lasagna is the best hiking food, and everyone's talking about chicken strip, which is a great, because that's in Death Valley, right? Like that's like
correct.
It's
Yeah,
the
that's
next
in
valley
Salina.
over, and there's hot pools there, and that was another sanctuary that we got
As
there
if on
right before
cue.
they closed the hot pools.
It is Salinas Valley area. It's just next to Death Valley. Yeah, so and that's how it works. Yeah.
And
Yeah, super cool strips out there, and that's what we
kind
do.
of an embarrassing photo.
Sorry, we'll move. Well, you sent it to me.
I
That's
know
on
I
you.
did. I didn't realize.
You sent it to me. That's on you guys.
That's what happens when you do laundry at the airport and you need to dry your underwear.
Yeah, it goes super
Spin
fast,
cycle.
especially when you fire up the engine.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I think what's cool about these photos, I mean, I've talked a lot about the joke is that the guest on the show that week is whatever I'm going to be obsessed about for the next week. Like I'm going to be Googling Carbon Cubs for the next week, thanks to you guys, right? But like the photos that you've got here, these adventures that you have, going to Chicken Strip, going to places, like this is like, that's the dream, right? It's like, all you need is like a song with like the millennial whoop in it, and then like, you're ready to go. Sorry, that's a bad joke. It's an advertising joke. But anyway,
You had to say
I don't
that.
know.
Okay, good. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, wait, is this?
Oh, no. That's the wedding. Yeah.
Look at
That's
you
our
guys.
6-person wedding.
So COVID, the COVID hit our wedding basically. So families couldn't get together. So we decided, we just have a small group. It's basically us and 4 friends, photographer couple, and then the 2 friends. They married us, and we wanted to have Pocahontas, our airplane, in it. And we got married at a little airport on a hilltop.
And if you can see what the weather looks like, it's raining.
It's
It's
how
like
far away
rain.
it's
Scud run.
Yeah.
It was
On your
pretty
wedding
fun
day.
getting to the airport that morning for our wedding.
Did
We
you guys?
barely
Did
made
you
the-
both fly in? Did you
We flew
fly
in together.
That's awesome. Yeah, Jason
They
is
couldn't
wondering, was
leave.
the plane the ring bearer?
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we had a really great memory, despite the COVID stuff, and it was so great to be there and having that wedding and we did hang out in the hangar, had some barbecue running, and it was just an awesome time. So
Played some games.
and after that, of course, playing games and stuff, and the next day or so we took off and went on our honeymoon, with the airplane. So it made it easy, Airliners and stuff was kind of, the whole thing was screwed up, the whole world about COVID, and basically our chance was to get our airplane started and have our camping gear in the back and just go somewhere to a nice spot, backcountry
So we
stuff.
went to Arizona and Utah.
I was gonna say, is that the next picture? No, you're doing the brakes.
Oh no, it's just a
Bleeding the brakes. That was maybe in the beginning or so.
This
maybe
is
the pictures weren't in order.
couple questions people are asking. Well, first, just a joke. Wolf of Corn is saying, "Did you have just married cans behind the airplane?"
That's a good one.
That was good. Tango and Juliet are wondering if you could tell us what the name. You guys picked Pocahontas as the name for the aircraft.
Yes, that's a good story.
Do you want me to say that story, or do you want to?
I begin and you can take over. Okay. So I know a friend who has basically his airplane named his wife or so. And I said, when Jackie was asking, hey, how do you name your plane and stuff? I said, of course, Jackie. You're gonna call her Jackie, you know? And she said, no way, you know. In case we break up or whatever, it's kind of bad luck whatsoever, you know.
It's kind of like getting a tattoo of a person's name, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the thing? If you tattoo your girlfriend's name or your wife's name, then you're doomed to. Yeah, I get it.
Exactly. Right. That kind of thing, you know.
Well, and I had already struggled in the beginning with getting his attention away from the plane. And so who is he going to like more? Jackie 1 or Jackie 2, right? The airplane or me?
And which one
is
is Jackie 1 and which one's Jackie 2?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It probably
Yeah, I
might
get it.
depend on. Anyways, so I have a dress that is kind of Indian flair to it, and he would call it Pocahontas. Where the Pocahontas dress, and so one day we were talking about it, and I said, why don't we name the plane Pocahontas? And when we were building it, hours at the hangar, and sure enough, the name stuck, and I love the name is Pocahontas. That's who she is.
Yeah. That's the story, and it fits, to the kind of Indian or backcountry stuff, so it's perfect. Pocahontas was it then? Yeah.
Oh, and she didn't always cooperate when we were building on her. There were times when she was very difficult, just to say that building is not always easy.
You guys made it look easy, though, for sure.
Yeah.
You only show the good parts, so.
Yeah.
He would also call me his chief mechanic, so that was nice of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So look at check out where you're taking that plane, though.
Yeah.
That's Idaho. That's a coffee break.
That's
Just
amazing. That's so
land
beautiful.
someplace and boil coffee, or with jet boil and the AeroPress. It's a perfect combination for.
I feel like what I want to do. What I want to do is I want to invite myself to hang out with you guys so that you can teach me how to camp. I've done some wilderness stuff. I've done a little wilderness camping, but I'm not like super comfortable. I'm more of what's gonna kill me today? So getting out and then we can do airplane stuff, and you can teach me how to make AeroPress coffee in the middle of the backcountry. You don't have to say yes. That's just me being.
The best.
Yeah, that's a good
Come
point.
join us.
Yeah.
Oh no! Please continue to invite me. Yes, please.
Yeah.
You can come fly out to our airport. You can camp on our lawn if you wanted.
There we go. That could be the warm up. You could be like, here you go.
Yeah.
Right.
I have that same REI. You had that REI duffel. I got the same one.
Perfect. You're set to go.
We're ready to go.
You have everything you need in there.
Just change the subject. Just Plain Silly says, it looks like you guys polished that plane as part of the post-flight checklist. It's sparkling in every photo.
Yeah, it looks like that. So I always say, the best pre-flight is probably cleaning the airplane.
Oh, sure.
Because you touch all the parts, and you see right away if there is a vortex generator missing or whatever, if a brake is leaking or so, but nothing of that happened so far, so all good. Knock on wood, so far it's all good. And yeah, of course, I always wish to have an airplane, own an airplane, and I built one or rebuilt one, and it's a joy to basically clean it for me. It's like meditation or yoga for me to clean the plane,
Sure.
And of course, the pictures looks more. It looks better in the picture, and just all good. Yeah. For me, it's really it's not just the cleaning. It's I enjoy it, and it's the main part is basically the pre-flight or so, or post-flight. Yeah. If I have lost some parts or whatever.
Tell me
Yeah,
about this orange color. Nathan Ballard's asking about the awesome orange color. Is that just you guys just love orange, or is it a callback to your test pilot? We talked about a little bit about it in the beginning, but
okay. So the thing was, my brother is basically an airplane engineer, and we always from childhood on we have kind of the roles. I build something and he's adding something, and he basically designed the paint scheme of that airplane.
oh, cool.
And in the end, we were kind of debating, what kind of color should we pick? Is it purple, red, yellow, and other ones? So I asked Jackie one day, hey, by the way, what kind of color do you like on the airplane? And she says, orange. And I said, well, orange? Well, let's try it. And we basically, colored it in orange on the paper, and it looked kind of cool. And there we go. It was orange then.
Yeah, I dig it. I think also for the kind of flying you do, you not only get a beautiful plane, but you also get a little bit of safety, right? Like, it is not like see and avoid, right? Like the whole joke about like why is every airplane white when that's so hard to see? You've got like a really bright, standout, beautiful color there too. So. Right,
that was the second thing. Yeah. Because we don't want to hide the airplane, A lot of people want to hide it, which we understand. Of course, if you land somewhere in the backcountry, why not? Camouflage or whatever makes sense, to hide and hunt or whatever you do out there. For us, it was more like, we have something popping out there, so.
For sure. This is just, I mean, I think goes back to why are you guys into this? This is why. Right? Like this stuff, these, look at this stuff. Like, I don't even know where this is, but I want to go to there.
Yeah. I guess it's Monument Valley area, if you fly from Lake Powell towards the east. Yeah.
Waukesha pilot's noticing that the ladder matched. Also, like your plane matches the ladders too, which is nice. Like a little color coordination with the ladders. I mean,
that was the main reason why we did choose that fuel station there, because the color matches the airplane.
I mean, so you guys sent me a bunch of videos too, and I want to start talking about this trip, this Alaska to Argentina trip. But one of the videos you sent was this one, which I kind of teased at the beginning. This is like your first ride in the aircraft, right?
Yeah,
this is like
how do I get in the plane? Yeah. Yeah, it was my very first ride in a plane when Tobias said, okay, Jackie, it's your turn. So I got to go in. Obviously, it was summertime. Otherwise, I would not be dressed like that to go in the back of the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting
cool feeling that was.
Oh, sure. Yeah, dude, I can't imagine. I mean, the amount of time you guys have put into this thing. Like, it's got to be exhilarating. Two questions I have for you. One, I mean, Logan has a question, and this video kind of teased it up. Like, what are your comments or thoughts on tandem seating versus side by side? Especially since you guys are flying together so much.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm happy with tandem seating. I have my own space back there, except for when I'm freezing. Then, yeah, I would like a little more of that heater, but I'm happy with the tandem seating. He flies. I watch my videos, read, look out the window, take pictures, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, this is the building. Sorry, I wanted to. There's these videos that you sent. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go, Jackie.
The other thing with tandem is I'm in the process of getting my pilot's license as well now.
That's what was going to be my follow-up question was, are you learning to fly?
Yeah, so learning to fly from the back is not really ideal. So I've actually sat up front twice, Tobias still being the pilot in command from the back. And it's definitely, it's a pretty exciting experience being up front. I like to say it reminds me of a real life video game, because you have the orange cowl and it has the carbon fiber little cutouts in it, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is like a video game but real life. It's crazy how it looks. And so I guess from that perspective, it's a little bit harder to learn how to fly it. But at the same time, you started flying in a J3 Cub, so you know that experience of, okay, I'm here in front, but the person behind me is going to save me, right?
Well, for me, it was
So.
the inverse, because the J3, you have to solo from the back.
Oh, right.
So you're
That's
always
true.
back there
Never
kind of
mind.
like, what? I can't see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Okay, that's true. Yeah. So, anyways, what were you doing? You were,
Yeah, I think this was adjustment of the magnetometer. You have to push the plane around in a circle to get it aligned.
so I was sitting in the plane telling him when to push, because every time it goes, yeah. Anyways, so he was pushing me around.
I love it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about. I'm gonna play some clips. Just because you guys sent some amazing flying clips. I'm just gonna play a bunch while we chat. But you have this. I mean, part of the CubTrekking thing is you guys have this like truly epic flight that you're planning. Have you done any segment? It's Alaska to Argentina, right? But have you done any segments of it yet, or?
No. Basically, for me, I flew up in Alaska a couple of hours, and in Mexico, but nothing further down. So yeah, that's a big dream, from Alaska down to Ushuaia, Argentina. I want to fly along the Andes and stuff, so it's a big dream of me. Um, and therefore, we planned that trip, and of course, work-wise and job-wise stuff. So everything was kind of screwed up because of the pandemic going on. That was one factor, and then unfortunately Jackie got some medical issues which prevented us from flying around. She needed to have some care taken at, and in the hospitals and stuff. So we're still kind of in the kind of phase to get out of the whole thing there, and we line up the whole trip, for another year. And we have to determine which time frame is, in the future is the best for us. So therefore, the trip is postponed. It didn't happen in 2020, obviously, but that's still on the top list there, and it's number one to get it done. Basically, flying up or down to Ushuaia. So that's a big, big dream, and we're preparing for that. That's for sure. We actually reached out to via the community, Instagram and stuff, to a lot of folks, and because so many people follow CubTrekking, it was so cool, At some point, Jackie sent out, "Hey guys, where are you from?" and stuff, and it's unbelievable. Some guys say from Brazil and all over the world. And when we announced the trip, a lot of people wrote us, "Hey, here's the coordinates. You can basically land here and put up your tent in the backyard or so, or we have a hangar for you, and when you come by, we have barbecue with you." And we have so many spots basically figured out that we have at every location we have to get fuel, so we have nearby somebody who basically reached out to us and said, "Well, you're welcome, anytime when you come, give us a shout," and we're there.
yeah, all that made me realize just how international the whole flying community is and how wonderful all the people are um, that are in the aviation world. I mean, I basically started a list by country of all the people that reached out to us when I posted a cool map of, our proposed route around the Americas. And, every country I had at least 3 or 4 people that said, if you need anything, we're here to help you. And I mean, that's just incredible what social media can do these days. So thank you, everybody, if you're on there. We've really had fun connecting with the world with our flying.
It's funny. We had sorry, and then there's the donkey.
That's a chicken strip. The donkey will come say hi.
I love that.
In the middle of the night, and you'll hear it stomping outside your tent, and you're like, "Okay, what is that?"
Is that a person or a donkey?
It's a donkey.
One of the things that we had Gil Barros on, and he flew down to Brazil in an RV9, and he had a very similar experience, right? Where he put out just like, hey, I'm going, what do I do? And people were just like, the Vans aircraft community was just like coming out of the woodwork to support him. And so it doesn't surprise me that you've got a similar support structure forming around that as you guys plan and get ready to go. I think the other thing that's really interesting is that you mentioned that you're not necessarily going to be just like airport to airport. You're going to be like doing the off airport thing on the way, which is like, I get anxiety when I'm like, okay, I got to do a long cross country, and like, what am I gonna do? Like, how am I gonna get to the hotel, whatever? And you guys, maybe it's easier almost. It's like, oh, like put it down here, like, boop, tent. Jackie's gonna show Ryan how to make some coffee. Bingo, bango. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should say this, but we were on our way back from Texas, and there was like this cool structure, and I was like, Tobias, let's go look at that structure somewhere between Texas and Colorado. And we put the plane down and took some pictures, and it was really cool. Took a break and jumped back in the plane, and yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I think you can say
So
that.
it is. Yeah, it is fun, of course. The other thing is, especially in other countries, you want to make sure you don't violate down there, and you have to make sure you follow the policy. I mean, especially Mexico, the restrictions
Or else you get shot at.
are so bad. You're basically always on a fly plane or so, so it makes it impossible to just land somewhere, yeah, on a dirt pad or so. So, and that's basically especially good for people we have contacts to down south, because every country has their own restrictions, and if we can meet some other backcountry guys, that's the best, They know all the good spots. They can point them out, and we can even go fly together or something like that. So the whole trip is really kind of more exciting the more people we know and the more spots we learn to know. So that's a big factor.
For sure. I mean, I feel like, yeah, like you have the best of both worlds then, right? Because you're covering both, like you're able to get remote but separately, not like have the Jeep with the guns show up or whatever.
Right.
Oh, that doesn't look very good. I gotta change that. There we go. All right, that looks better.
Yeah. And your point was actually right. Sometimes it's really easier for us just to land somewhere out in the boonies and set up our tent. We had that already once or twice, whatever. They said, well, should we go to an airport, an FBO, and basically have the plane parked there, pay $10 overnight, or get it waived with fuel or whatsoever, and somehow go to the hotel, if it's Uber or a rental car, courtesy cars, you can usually not get overnight. So anyway, long story short, sometimes it's really kind of more convenient just camp somewhere, because you have everything with you. The tent, the stove, and you can make dinner and get a coffee in the morning very early. Everything is nearby, It makes it so easy. And a lot of fun, You see the stars. I mean, we were out in areas where there's no light pollution or so. You see the Milky Way and stuff. It's just great, that CubTrekking stuff.
It sounds like your wife has reformed you in terms of this camping thing.
Yeah, a little bit, I have to admit. So, which I actually love, It's kind of, she's the master there for sure still, I mean, and she's teaching other folks, they're interested, and we set up a little trip and hit some spots and stay overnight, and Jackie is teaching them how to use the stove and getting an AeroPress to make coffee in the morning or all that kind of stuff. So it's super fun.
It's like luxury backpacking because you can't bring a cooler and you can't have real milk instead of powdered milk. So it's quite luxury compared to some of the stuff that I've done in the past. So yeah, we like our adventure plane.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are definitely using it. Maybe Cub Crafters will watch this and they'll throw you guys an EX3 because you're using it the way they're using it the way that
Totally.
it's intended for.
Now
I mean,
you're
look
talking.
at that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It is great, and especially if you have some backcountry strips, and you can train out there, because you have to land on the spot. You have not a 5,000-foot long runway where you can touch down wherever you want. So you need to be precise, and sometimes you land on narrow roads or so, and you have really to hit the spot then at certain strips. These are all kind of big, but so therefore, from a pilot perspective, it makes you a better pilot. The more you train out there.
Nathan Ballard just very generous Nathan with a super chat. He says, runway 37 is open in my yard anytime y'all are cleared to land in Georgia.
Oh.
Fabulous. Thank you, Nathan. You're awesome.
He'll also apparently give you a free BFR if you come down to to Atlanta. He'll do that. He's offered that to everyone who watches the show. I don't know if anyone's taken him up on that, because the internet. But he's a generous guy, Mr. Nathan Ballard.
Awesome.
How about is he a GME? Does that mean that I could get my pilot's license from him? Hopefully next month I'll have my pilot's license or be ready for my check ride.
I don't know if he could give you the check ride, but he can definitely get you ready.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Another great question from Brendan D. Brendan is asking, what do you guys do for weather planning? You can't imagine any terminal forecasts available for the middle of the desert.
Right, that's a good point. So what I like to use is, some folks know that probably Windy, the kind of app which is animating the weather, and you can select the layers. What I usually do, of course, besides the ForeFlight with all the charts, you come in from the official weather forecast center and stuff. So that's the main thing, you see the high pressure areas, low pressure, and so on. And then on top of it, I use Windy and check out the wind, how it's kind of moving around. And yeah, the combination of these two sources, and even, in ForeFlight, when you can pull all the charts about the winds aloft and stuff at different altitudes and for 36 or 48 hours in the future, that's the main source. I always, the most, besides the clouds and thunderstorms, of course, but the winds are kind of nasty sometimes out in the desert. So therefore, the winds are kind of very important to check, especially during the day. It's kind of sometimes really common. You have days with 40, 50 miles an hour headwind or so, and the plane makes 100 miles an hour, it doubles the time.
It's not fun.
So
you don't go very fast.
Yeah.
The traffic goes faster than you.
Most of us enjoy
traffic going.
Maybe the RV guys don't do that, but I've done that before. So I feel that.
Yeah. So, and then it's a lot, of course, in the area we're flying. Usually we kind of have a feeling with the time, you see really the weather and the high pressure, low pressure areas, and the wind forecast, and you check out the airports nearby, and you learn from that over the time, and you basically, you can say right away, that's a good time to fly tomorrow, or maybe not. Maybe you postpone it by a week or so and check it out again.
Maybe we're gonna be here for a week, and we're gonna make some more coffee and dry our underwear on the prop.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
That's true, actually.
You never know what can happen.
Yeah.
Really, it's such an
You get
adventure.
stuck there.
And we had that, it's just a forecast. We had really sometimes weather is the forecast show basically not that of a strong wind, or there shouldn't be rain or whatever, and the opposite even, so the forecast is kind of nasty, but you were looking outside and said, well, it's actually pretty good flyable. So that's always to consider,
Yeah, I don't even look at it till like the day, because it's just like I never know. You never know, right? You gotta feel it out.
Right. Looking
Anyway.
outside.
This has been Weather Talk with Ryan and Jackie and Tobias. Ryan. Speaking of Ryan's, Ryan Krueger is asking: is the plane IFR capable? Do they make IFR capable Carbon Cubs?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you
Ours
make one?
is not.
Okay.
No. just VFR. But we could easily basically add a G5 or so, and that would be
We'd be close.
yeah, right.
Brendan.
What I know, people that have these IFR planes, I mean, it makes totally sense if you live in an area where you have these marine layers or whatever, fog layers in the morning hours, just to get through or so, But you don't fly the plane for hours in IFR conditions, and especially icing or so. I mean, you get down pretty quick.
Yeah,
so
for
it's
sure.
just kind of more convenient to basically plunge through the ceiling or so. Yeah, what I heard. So. Yeah.
Got it. Brendan followed up. He said that he loves it. Macro estimations for micro strips. That's kind of an interesting way to think about it. A couple of people have asking, what's the sign behind you? Everyone wants to see the sign behind you.
One is Pilot Lounge. Is it that or the other one on the left? So anyway,
probably the Pilot Lounge one. Yeah.
Pilot Lounge. Yeah, that's kind of a light thing. So
that was a wedding gift. That was
wedding gift.
Really cool to get because we live on an airport, so.
Yeah.
Talking to you guys is kind of frustrating because you live on an airport, you got a beautiful airplane, you are newlyweds, you're so happy. It's so frustrating. So frustrating for me. I'm in the my marriage is awesome, but we are 5-year-old, 2-year-old diapers and potty training, and we don't sleep at all.
Yeah.
So it's just so nice to see you both so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to Anyway, before we wrap up for the night, because I can't believe we've been talking for a little bit over an hour. We're actually a little bit over time. I wanted to see if there's any other cool. We played that one. Oh, did we play this one? There we go. It was a more classic.
Yeah,
we gotta show this
runway.
Hard surface, womp womp. Who cares?
Right.
But it's such a beautiful. I mean, I don't know. The plane looks so great. You guys are shooting great video. Look at that. Yeah,
that's a good point. That Jackie's flying with me, so she can always take pictures and running the GoPro or whatever. So and I fly. I mean, what I know, most people basically fly the Cubs by themselves. There's not very often a passenger in the passenger seat. So so that's how it works.
I'm just clicking through because you guys sent me a ton of videos, and we were joking before the show started for people. I was loading in videos, and we had so many beautiful videos to play that it started to crash the broadcasting software. So we can't even show all the amazing stuff you guys sent over, but I just wanted to show a bunch. Are you guys up to play a short game to wrap up the night with me? Would that be okay?
Of course.
Is this going to drive a wedge in our marriage?
This is not I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Of course. Let's play a game.
Let's do it. All right. So this game's called Short Final. Short Final is just a minute on the clock. I ask you a bunch of goofy questions. You guys give whatever answer you can. There are no points. You've already won. No stress. And because you have those amazing Bose headsets on, I think I'm going to be able to actually play some dramatic music. So let's do this. We'll get the minute on the clock. Get the music going. Oh yeah, it's working. Okay, cool. Jackie, Tobias, favorite airport you've ever landed at?
Oh. Mine would be Miniature Mines.
Miniature Mines. Good.
What's yours?
Miniature Mines.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, go. We gotta keep going. We already talked about this turf or hard surface. Turf. Okay. What about what's the perfect size for a bush wheel on a Cub?
29s. 29s for us.
Yeah.
A lot of people go big. Yeah. North up or track up on the GPS?
Who cares? Looking outside.
I love it. All right. And then last but not least, this is going to be a tough one. It's going to drive the wedge. Other than each other, who's the favorite passenger you've ever had in the aircraft?
Well, mine would have to be my flight instructor. because that's the only passenger I've had.
Love it, dig it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have to
now-
say my wife, of course, otherwise
Other
it's
than
not gonna
me.
work.
Your sister.
Other than we
Oh.
know you're gonna say Jackie because she's amazing, but what else? Like who else? It's got to be someone
my
else.
brother.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with the paint.
Exactly.
The paint.
Yeah.
I love that.
And he came over from Switzerland. He lives in Switzerland, so yeah, that was kind of
Oh,
special.
so it's like a it's like that's momentous then.
Right, and he even basically was my passenger to fly to Oshkosh. Jackie was flying back from Oshkosh with me, so yeah.
I still can't believe you guys did that. By the way, every time I ask track up or north up, it's just this fight in the comments. And you said,
Oh, yeah?
who cares? And Robbie McFarland, whoever that is, says, I care, lol. Track up. I just thought, Robbie, I'm not making fun of you. I don't have a horse in that race, but I thought that was just, you made me laugh, Robbie. I'm not picking on you. You just made me laugh. Guys, thanks so much for being on the show tonight.
Yeah,
thanks
thank you.
for inviting us. It was a pleasure.
Oh, I can't. Well, thanks to Tango and Juliet for introducing us, because we hadn't met before.
Thank you, Tango and Juliet.
Oh.
Yeah,
You'll
so
have to come
we all
fly in sometime.
I guess it sounds like we're all camping at the at the CubTrekking
At the pilot's lounge.
At the pilot lounge. Yeah, we're all camping there. Tango Juliet, like north up, like a map. They're getting into it. You guys are amazing. I can't wait to see you do your epic adventure. In when you are ready to do it. And I found just chatting with you guys like super inspirational. Obviously, like I was joking before about like how you guys don't do anything less than 110%, but like look at all that effort, like everything that it's bringing back to you guys. It's, I don't know, it just seems like it's pretty cool. I found it, you guys are an inspiration to me, so thanks for that.
Yeah, thank you. We have fun sharing it, that's for sure. And, social media, I'd love to do more videos. I sent you a bunch of videos. I have so many videos I could put together, but it all takes time.
Yeah, that it does.
And we all have the same amount of time.
Which is not enough. It's
No,
not
right.
enough. You need some more. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, guys. And for the rest of you at home, wow, what another great, this show is so fun. I don't even, what are you going to say? What are you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, if anybody wants to ask us any further questions, I'm pretty sure our email is on CubTrekking.com or through Instagram. We're happy to answer any questions that you have while you're, picking out the kit that you want to build, or how to go airplane camping, or where to go, or where to find out to go. We're happy to help with any of that stuff.
Thank you. I was so rude. I didn't even do I was so excited. I didn't even do do you have anything you want to plug? But yes, you should totally do that. And now I need to pick out my Carbon Cub kit,
Right.
which I can't afford
Yeah.
at all.
EX3 with the heater.
No, but you said that was
buy
like
the
300.
EX3
You said that was like a $500,000. I don't know what you said. You said it was many zeros. There are many zeros on that kit.
Right.
I don't have those zeros.
I mean, depending if you want to have your wife flying with you or not. EX2, your wife is not coming. EX3, your wife is gonna come. most likely,
EX2 with
so.
the future ducting that is CubTrekking designed and endorsed.
I will go EX2. I'll order your 3D printed
STC.
vent. Yeah, and then I'll be good. I don't know. I don't know if my wife said. Now that we have kids, my wife might be like, go fly by yourself. Maybe I need to just get like one of those single seat. I don't know. I can just put
We also consider Bearhawk actually for a period of time with the nice barn doors, and it's a 4-seater side by side. So you could just throw the kids in the back and they can go wrestle back there, and
that
you
would
and your wife can fly.
That would be great, because here's the thing. There's a little morbid, but her whole thing is like, she and I can't get in a plane anymore, just the two of us. If we go, we all need to go, is her thing.
Yeah, understood.
Is that understood? It feels a little dark, just a little dark, like a little dark.
Well, I mean, you have to plan for everything.
Yeah.
I guess so.
I mean, you gotta plan for dying too, right?
I get, yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing we should be doing. Yep, for sure. So yeah, what it'll be, honey. Here, I was gonna buy a $1 million,
Bearhawk.
$250,000 Carbon Cup kit, but instead we're gonna scratch build this Bearhawk. We're gonna have to learn how to weld. But the good news is that all 4 of us can go together, so you don't have to worry about.
They have kits. The Bearhawk has a kit.
Hashtag not a sponsor.
Okay, well, I know, not a sponsor, but
No,
anyways,
I'm just joking.
Okay.
I'm just joking. Anyway, thanks so much, guys. This has been really, really cool. You guys got to check out CubTrekking on Instagram in particular. We barely scratched the surface with all the beautiful stuff that Jackie and Tobias sent over for me to show you. And the one, like, when I first met them, there was like the first thing I went to on the Instagram was just like this beautiful like dusk landing, and I was like, that is amazing. Like, that is what it's all about. That's what it's. Oh, I pressed my head so hard I left marks. That's what it's all about. To this kind of flying, right? That's what it's all about. So anyway, thank you guys so much for being on the show. It's been awesome. And for the rest of you at home, thank you for watching. Again, it's so great. This is my recharge time every Wednesday night to hang out with all of you. And if you really love what you're doing, the people ask, like, how can I support the show? The biggest people don't ask that, but I have to say that to transition it to it. Share it, like it, all that jazz. If you really love what we're doing, hop over to Patreon. We've got kind of a really amazing squadron with the SuperAero squadron there. We hang out after these shows on Zoom, sometimes till like 2 a.m, which is not the healthiest, but it's really fun. So we'd love to have you to be part of our community. Come hang out with all of the kind of AvGeek nerds after the shows. And tune in next week. Carolyn Landron's going to be on. She's a captain, airline captain. So we're going to switch gears from home builts and tail draggers and warbirds to airline flying. And I bet just because that's the way it goes, she's going to be like, oh yeah, let me show you the airplane I'm building. Because everyone's doing it. All right. Have a great night, everybody. We will see you next week.